Hello and welcome to Swapping Joysticks. Oh, you sat down quickly.
Yeah, I was not ready.
Welcome to Swapping Joysticks. No, put it over my ears now. I'm your host, Biggest Bennis, joined as always by the one, the only, the one that they call Ed_Nights. But some people also call him Ed Nightingale. How are you doing, Ed_Nightingale?
Get the name right.
Yeah?
I'm alright. How are you?
Yeah. Do you want to make any more noise?
I'm just moving it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm very, very good. Bit tired.
Are you? Someone seems a bit tired and grumpy today.
I'm not necessarily grumpy, just a little bit tired. I've had a very busy day. I've had a busy week. But tomorrow is my Friday. I'm not working on Friday, so yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that.
Alright for you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you didn't book it off for some reason. Because why do I have Friday off, Ed?
I don't know. Tell us.
Because we're going to see Lizzo on Thursday night, which is tomorrow night.
Am I ready? Am I ready?
Well, we're going to have to mute this bit.
ready?
Sounds just like the radio.
To see Lizzo. To see Lizzo.
Well, you're very...
ready.
Are you ready? I'll have to listen to some of her songs so that I know some of the lyrics and things.
I need to know who I'm going to see.
Yeah. I like Lizzo. She's like a solid 8 out of 10. I wonder what she's like live.
I think she'll be great live.
Yeah. We will see
I'm very excited to see.
Will we see the flute?
Oh, 100% she's going to get a flute out.
Will she get a ukulele out?
No.
Yeah, so that's on Friday. But today I'm tired.
That's on Thursday.
Yeah, what did I say it was?
You said Friday.
No, Friday
Lizzo is Thursday, and Friday is
karaoke day.
Karaoke and recover from Lizzo, and I will be working.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, we so Moni Does Stuff is here in the UK. She arrived one day and then got really sick and has been like bedbound until.
Also with the other half of Geek Herring, Amanda.
Yeah,
is also here.
They were both poisoned.
And Tom 3 Extra Lives.
Yeah, they were both poisoned. That's another podcast disappeared. Poisoning them.
I think you poisoned Moni with the Gregs.
Moni did not get poisoned by Greg because, no, that is not true. Nobody could get poisoned by Greg. There's nothing substantial in there to actually poison you.
Because there's nothing substantial in a Greg's.
How dare you? Greg's is fantastic. You like Greg's as well. You pretend you don't. People come from...
It's just like shit in pastry. That's all they sell.
Good quality. Good quality pastry.
Good quality shit.
Yeah, and it tastes really nice. It's really cheap. I'm going to get you a nice Greg's lunch soon. Maybe I'll get that for lunch tomorrow.
Please don't.
We'll go out and get a... The vegan sausage roll is great. Greg's, for those that don't know what Greg's is, Greg's is a bakery that kind of serves delicious savory pasties and bakes and donuts and like mini pizzas.
It's awful. It's just baked shit in pastry.
I mean, that is great.
No, I'd like to know what's inside the pastry and not just shit.
Don't you eat sausages?
Yes.
Do you want to speak up a little bit?
Yes, I eat sausage.
Well, yeah, but you don't know where it's been. You don't know where it's been, though.
Drunk food. Yeah, but drunk food, but like in the day.
It's not drunk food. It's actually really tasty. They have a sausage, beans, and cheese melt. It's pastry, and inside the pastry is like 200 degrees, baked beans, chopped up sausage, and also lots of cheese. Oh, it's the best. It is really, really good. Moni says, it was really not... You're from a place that has schnitzel, Moni. You can't, say anything about British cuisine. Well, although we do
I'd rather have schnitzel than Greg's.
What's wrong with you?
What's right with you?
Everything. I've never seen a vegan sausage roll look so pale and like nothing. I suppose Moni doesn't really have much taste, though. I mean, not in that way, but also in that way. But, she doesn't smell, and I think when you can't...
Wow.
When you can't...
That was rude.
When you can't smell, it also affects your taste as well. We'll get... But yeah, hello everybody. Hope you're all doing well. We're recording this for a podcast. That's why we don't necessarily chat too much with the chat, because otherwise people will be listening to us later and going oh, what are they responding to? Stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'm also celebrating as well because my job got made permanent.
Whoop, whoop.
So my job as senior executive for streaming and gaming at Great Ormond Street Hospital Children's Charity, that was originally for 6 months. And yeah, 2 months in, and they've said, let's make it permanent. So I'm very happy with that.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Oh yeah, no, it's a big relief. It's great. Well, not big, yeah, big relief, because I was like, okay, great. Now I've got a lot of job security, and I've been really enjoying my job as well. It's great. Went to an event.
It's nice to enjoy your job, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, and it's just like an exciting job where lots, like, different things. Like today, my afternoon consisted of making a Facebook group, and this morning were some
hard work.
And this morning were meetings with Tiltify and some other meetings about an event I went to yesterday. It was just like a really, just enjoyable. It was an enjoyable job.
Good.
Rare.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So, how about you, Ed? How's your week been?
It's all right. It's all right. We went to the gym earlier, so I'm also a bit tired.
Maybe that's why I'm grumpy.
Yeah. I mean, I told you, you go to the gym, it makes you feel grumpy. I don't understand this whole, like, endorphins thing. It's just not a thing.
You should be pleased with yourself because you managed not to fall off the treadmill this time.
Wow. You were not going to bring that up.
Honestly, arse over legs went up.
No.
Yeah.
It was
like
not that
shot
bad.
off the end. Shot off the end like some produce on a conveyor belt. Just like
no. What happened is that I was doing my sort of couple of minutes of walk just to warm up, and then I started running, and my phone was resting on the there's not like a phone bit, so it was resting on it, and basically
there's
just
no one on the bike either. It was really annoying.
It's very annoying.
Yeah.
So unfortunately I started running, and my phone, which was also a brand new phone that I'd had for a couple of days, fell onto the treadmill, and so my reaction was just to stop and stand, like, look down and pick it up, but obviously forgetting that, you're moving backwards, and so I sort of then fell off the end.
Right next to me and lots of other people.
And then I sort of said, "Oh, I'll just jump straight back on again," and then was like, "Oh, okay, that's too quick. Emergency stop," and then took a breath and then carried on. And luckily, nobody saw, and so no one knew, and it was just me, and it's all fine.
Yeah, and I was inside dying of embarrassment.
How dare. Anyway, that did not happen today, so that was nice. And then you've had a lovely dinner, haven't you?
I have had some sticky beef.
Sticky beef.
Is that what it's called?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's very nice.
We're testing out HelloFresh. This is not sponsored.
No, so don't buy it.
Don't buy it. No, just we had an offer, so I thought, fuck it, let's try it out.
And what was your first impression when you
my first
it?
reaction was I looked at the first instructions and was like, that's not how you cook rice properly. So that was incorrect.
But then you told me that actually you incorrectly cooked the rice today.
Because it was not the right method of doing it.
Oh, did you do it their way?
Well, no. I sort of went halfway in between and it was wrong.
Oh.
Because normally, so you measure, like, the proportion of rice to water, and then you basically just, like, get it boiling and then put it on a low heat, and then you just sort of, like, let it simmer until it's soaked up the rice.
But then it's not stuck to the bottom.
No. Because then once all the water is absorbed, you know that the rice is cooked because you put the right amount in. Of course, Yamane.
Do you wash rice?
Yeah. You always wash that before you use it.
Rice?
Yeah.
You wash it?
Yeah.
I'd never washed rice in my life.
But this recipe was basically just like boil up all the kettle and basically like boil away the rice like you would pasta and then sieve it. And I was like, no, that's not the correct method. HelloFresh. No. So I put it in and then sort of tried to measure the right amount of water, but I usually do it with a cup and I didn't use the cup, and so I got it wrong. Anyway, the sauce was quite nice though.
It's very nice, yeah. It's sticky and beefy, and yeah, the first thing you said was like, I think this is for one, but it wasn't. It was fine.
Well, actually, it was enough. I was worried that it was not a big enough portion because
Ed's a feeder.
I like a lot of food, and I am also a feeder. Yeah. But actually, it was all right. It was enough, and it was tasty.
Yeah,
I was quite happy with it actually.
Yeah, that's a strong start.
It was a strong start. So I think we've got hoisin chicken noodles tomorrow.
Ooh.
And then
Just
some
before
sort
Lizzo.
of like.
Do we want something that exotic before Lizzo? I'm gonna be farting, you know. See, my stomach has just made a noise now. It's going.
Don't
Yes,
tell
I
me
am.
that now. Don't tell me that now.
Oh well. Well, I'm not gonna hold it back. Money can't smell it.
Wow.
It's true.
Wow.
But I didn't realize you meant to wash rice. Who washes rice? Who's ever washed rice?
I'll be honest, I don't normally do it. But you are meant to wash it first to get rid of a bit of the starch.
Well, apparently it's the bug
Then
eggs,
it's-
according to Yamano.
Well, it's mainly, I think, to get rid of the starch, so then it doesn't stick together as much.
Apparently everyone washes
I
rice.
mean, you are meant to. I'm just lazy, so
Yeah.
I just boil it. And usually it's fine. You don't have a problem with the way I cook rice.
No, the bugs add a little extra crunch.
There's no bugs in it.
Molly doesn't wash it. Yeah. Huh. But no, it's like apparently you're meant to wash your hair twice. Did you know that? If you ever follow the instructions on shampoo, it says you have to wash your hair twice.
I just thought that was a luxury at the hairdresser.
No, you didn't.
They
That's what I
always do
did
it
as
twice
well.
and then condition
Yeah.
it. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. I should
No.
do this myself.
Apparently it doesn't get anywhere, like the first rinse doesn't get rid of it, or get rid of all like the gruesome stuff, so you have to do it twice. There you go. Well, no, it says wash with shampoo. No, it's you're meant to wash with shampoo twice. That's another thing I was like, maybe they're just saying that so you have to buy more.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
Yeah, but if you look at your shampoo bottle, it will say to do it twice. It's a scam by the shampoo industry, yeah. It is. Oh,
Yeah, okay.
the big shampoo. They come in there wanting it. Yeah, it was something that I that I saw on Twitter, so it must be true. But then I looked on.
It's definitely not.
No, he's got go and get the shampoo.
No.
Well,
I'll look later.
More fool you. It's all in Korean, your shampoo, your fancy stuff that you've got.
It's L'Oreal.
Is it? The blue stuff? I thought you got it from Korea. Didn't you pre-order it from somewhere? Isn't L'Oreal Korean? No?
Oh, God.
Where did you get the Korean stuff from?
Right. The Koreans... I have Korean moisturizer
Okay, why?
because I like the brand and it was recommended to me. And then we have French... The blue stuff you're talking about is La Roche-Posay, which is the French
No. I meant
face wash.
No, I meant the Korean stuff because I remember you ordering it from a weird website and I thought that was the shampoo.
No, that's moisturizer.
Well, I thought why is
Shampoo's from Amazon. It's just
What?
a big bottle of
yeah
L'Oreal
okay
stuff.
I think it's because you must got it from Amazon and I'm like why don't you just get shampoo from like the boots like a normal human being but you order it in this weird thing and there isn't a special pump so you have to kind of balance it on your hand when you're in a shower to try and get enough out.
Whatever.
Yeah, can confirm Aussie products don't fall into the double wash. Okay, and what's going on to Mr. Wibble? Mr. Wibble, you need to I don't think you have that problem. You have to wash your hair twice.
Don't be mean.
No, I am.
Don't be mean, Benjamin.
How dare. It doesn't affect some people. Or maybe if you wash down there.
Yeah, definitely wash your pubes twice with shampoo.
Do you wash it with shampoo or soap?
Shower gel.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I meant. Well, I mean, I like soap, but you like don't agree with soap. Ed doesn't agree with soap. Tweet that out.
No, so I don't agree with soap. Soap is fine for washing your hands, but for the rest of your skin and your face, it's incredibly dry.
Oh, I love a good Dove. A good Dove soap bar.
You're so straight.
Genuinely use Dove soap for all my body, pretty much all my life until I met you, and then you were like, no, you will not do that. But then when you use like body wash, you have that kind of weird feeling, and I don't like it.
Weird feelings.
With soap, it's squeaky clean.
Yeah, that's bad.
No, it's
That
great.
means your skin is dry.
Have you not heard the phrase squeaky clean? Yeah, that clean.
Yeah, for like a window.
And for my armpits.
And for your balls.
And for my balls are squeaky clean.
Oh.
It does leave a film. Yamino is right, yeah.
Yeah, it's... What, as in shower gel?
Dove doesn't. Dove doesn't leave anything.
Yeah,
great.
it's called a protective layer of like moisturizing whatever.
I don't want a protective layer. I want to be clean. But
You are honestly beyond help.
But yeah, no, I'm not a massive fan of that. Although it did take like 6 months for me to just go and get one of those pump things that a pump for the shower gel because you were, I don't know what you were doing with it.
You just turn it upside down and squeeze it out.
No, that's effort. Yeah, I'm the straightest bathing gay man Jinx has ever known.
Yes, correct.
But no, soap is great. Soap on your face, because then, especially if it's a really cold day out, because you do a lot of soap and then you go out and you feel like how clear your skin is.
No, you feel how dry it is, and then it cracks and it gets itchy.
I mean, sometimes, but not often. But that's when you know it's really clean.
Right, you are going to be the wrinkliest old man.
Yeah, maybe. But at least I'll be clean, unlike some dirty scroats.
Someone with eczema, I'm with Ed on this. I also get eczema, so I've learned to just be, moisturising.
My mum has it and stuff. I don't think I do. I'm quite lucky. You know, look at my elbows.
That is the crustiest elbow I've ever seen.
It's quite crusty, isn't it? You've never seen my elbow.
I don't normally look at your elbow.
Oh, there you go. It's not like crusty.
That is
it's
so,
soft.
I'm not touching that. That is so crusty.
And?
Oh my god, there's moisturiser in the cupboard. We're getting that out in a minute. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm gonna rub it in his face when he sleeps.
Don't you dare. That is revolting.
Leave a bit of elbow powder.
No.
Oh, anyway. Video games. By the way, if anybody hasn't said what they've been playing, go into the Dick Sword. Today's question of the day is, what have you been playing? We did put it up very late, like about 2 hours ago. So, I know you bloody didn't. I did. But it was just a couple of hours ago. So go and post in there if you haven't already. But yeah, what games have you been playing, Ed?
Crikey. I finished 2 games this weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I didn't normally finish games.
Did you?
And I did 2.
I'm trying to remember which games you finished. There weren't any good ones, though, really, were there?
They were good.
Okay, go and tell us then.
Well, the first one is a game called Oceanhorn, which anyone who watched my stream back in November will remember I did a month of Zelda-like games, and Oceanhorn was one of them. I did a different one each week. And so I decided to go back and finish it. So I only played it for about 3 hours or so. And I only played it for about another 3 just to finish it.
Why did you play it?
Why?
Yeah.
Because at the time I couldn't think of anything else to play.
Oh, I thought it was because you were getting incredibly frustrated with Wolong.
No.
Oh.
It's definitely not it.
You needed something calm because you were getting very angry.
I wanted something calm. I think it was originally a mobile game, yeah, but I was playing it on Switch. And it's kind of like Wind Waker meets Breath of the Wild meets Captain Toad. So you have like an ocean, obviously, hence the name, and lots of islands, and you have to basically explore each of the islands and do little sort of dungeons and stuff like this. But each of the islands is a sort of isometric viewpoint. It's like a little diorama that you sort of go in and out of, and in sort of quite cute little 3D graphics. And it's not like the best game ever, but it's just relaxing. It's quite well done. It's super chilled. And it's very, very Zelda-y. You are this little sort of blonde kid with a blue shirt, and he sails around on his boat and goes on adventures and solves puzzles and defeats bosses, and it's very much indebted to Zelda, but just a nice, sweet little gentle game, which was sort of just what I was in the mood for on Friday, because I had a day off and then was in a shitty mood. So
why are you in a shitty mood, Ed?
Because the trains got cancelled on the way to my haircut. It's very annoying.
And then
and it was a day off, and I was like, I've been out in the cold, and the trains are cancelled, and I'm just irritated. So I went home and I started playing Wolong and got annoyed at my boss. So I thought, I'm going to finish something that is just chilled and relaxing, and Oceanhorn absolutely ticked that box for me. I think when I bought it was like £2. So it's super cheap on Switch if you are into Zelda-like games. And then I started and finished over the rest of the weekend Metroid Fusion. Don't you turn your nose up. So I played Metroid Prime Remastered recently on Switch, which was fucking brilliant, and was a nice nostalgia hit from when I played it on GameCube. And Metroid Fusion, which was released on the Game Boy Advance like 12 years ago, something like that, that has just been added to Switch Online. So I played that, and it took me a grand total of 3 hours, 25 minutes to get through it, which doesn't include game overs, but it is very short. And I really like it. It is a bit more linear than other Metroid games. Everyone sort of understands, I guess, now what a Metroidvania is like. And a lot of the time you're exploring all over the place and it's very non-linear. Whereas Metroid Fusion, you're on this spaceship and it has 6 different areas that you basically kind of just go through in order and then you go back through them again. So you're kind of very much directed, this is where you go. So it feels like a much more small, more compact Metroid game. But it was made for a Game Boy Advance, so that's understandable. It's also really leaning into horror, which I feel like Metroid, the best Metroid does. The scary moments are always the moments you remember, and Metroid Dread definitely leaned into horror as well, off the back of Fusion, I think. But there is this like evil Samus that is basically unkillable until the very end, and she like stalks you, and it's really scary. But it's also really, really good. It's well worth playing. The final third suddenly jumps up in difficulty and was quite annoying.
Yeah, you were very angry. I could hear from in here.
I may have screamed slightly. But it's a really, really good game. And if you're into Metroid games and you haven't played Fusion, then absolutely go play it. If you like Metroidvanias, then definitely go play it. Like I say, it was 3.5 hours basically to play through it all, which was great. So yeah, definitely recommend Metroid Fusion. How are the controls for Prime Remastered, says Omni? Prime Remastered is great because you can now play it with modern dual stick controls. So it sort of plays just like a normal first person shooter would do, but still with the lock on, because it's not really a shooting game. So it controls really well and it's super quick and super smooth. And honestly, Metroid Prime Remastered is one of the best games I've played this year. It's incredible. But there's one other game that I've also been playing, which I know
Speaking of Metroidvania,
which I know you will like.
I know because I like it.
Which is Dead Cells.
Woo! The best roguelike game out there.
Not quite.
For me.
It's not quite as good as Hades, I will say. But it came out before Hades. I played Dead Cells. It came out in 2018, which is I played it as soon as it came out.
Different life.
Absolutely loved it, but only played it for like a couple of months, kind of on and off. And I haven't been back to it since then. And they have changed that game so much after the last few years.
Oh yeah, they added like customization to the randomizer and stuff like that. You can make your own levels, can't you? Like, can't you make your own game in it? Like,
I don't know about that.
I think that's the PC only one. I think.
Well, you can customize. So I guess just to explain what the game is, it is a Metroidvania roguelike, or roguelite.
Yes, it's roguelite because roguelike means that you only learn stuff, you don't actually gain any extra abilities. Whereas roguelite, you get better because you're doing certain things each one. Which
you do. So it's basically a side scroller. It looks like a Metroidvania game. And you have to work your way through these different levels, and it sort of branches. There's different paths.
This game with comparing it to a Metroid.
It's Metroidvania, so it's comparing it to Metroid and Castlevania, which are very
Rayman-esque 2D platformer.
It's not Rayman. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's a 2D platformer with enemies.
Fuck off. It's a Metroidvania.
It's Rayman.
It's a Metroidvania. Do not listen to him. It's a Metroidvania, and it's all very like gothic castles and like poison areas and clock towers.
Phantom of the Opera.
It's very Castlevania.
And it's Rayman and Phantom of the Opera together. It's the best combo.
Fucking hate you. Rayman and Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah. Welcome to Dead Cells.
Your reference points are wildly incorrect.
How dare.
But so it's a roguelite game where basically every time you die, you go back to the beginning again. But along the way, you unlock lots of new powers and new weapons that then are randomly generated in the next run. Is it better than Ghouls and Ghosts? I'd say so, because Ghouls and Ghosts is really hard and Dead Cells is not as difficult. So you unlock lots of abilities and weapons. So the customizer that you're talking about basically allows you to sort of switch on and off out of the weapons you've unlocked. you can switch them on and off. So like if there's a particular weapon that you really like, you can basically select it, so that's the only weapon that will come up. So you're guaranteed
I want
to
the
get
thing.
it.
I want the auto gun thing because you just throw it and then Stan manages to. If you're good at dodging the person's attacks, which I'm quite good at, you throw that and just let it do all the work.
Yes, there is a lot of that, which is great.
Mm.
So yeah, it is very much indebted to Castlevania. It has this kind of gothic style, and what they've now just added is Castlevania DLC. So it's all come full circle, which is great. And the new DLC is really really good. It's really well integrated into the game.
Is it free, by the way?
It is not free.
Oh.
But they have added in loads of other stuff over the last few years that is free, that just adds loads of extra stuff into it. But it's really well integrated. Basically, the first level, I won't tell you exactly what happens, but the first level that you do, it's the same every time, you will suddenly meet Richter from Castlevania, who will say, hey, we need to go to the castle, you need to come here. And so then you go off, and it effectively just adds new levels, which are taken straight from Castlevania, very much Symphony of the Night, which is the best one. And you get to meet Alucard, and you get to meet like other Castlevania characters. It's got the Vampire Killer music, which is a fucking bop. You get all the Castlevania weapons, so like whips and holy water, and you can summon bats and stuff like that. So all the sort of Castlevania reference points are in there. But it's really well integrated. Like it's part of Dead Cells. It just fits so well. So I've got really very much back into this now, and have done a lot of runs. I got further than I've ever got before because I've never finished a run in Dead Cells. And there was a clock tower boss that I couldn't get past, and I don't know if they've suddenly made the game easier, or if I've just improved. But I just have been racing through runs, doing really well, with much higher level equipment. And I got to, I don't know if it's the last boss, but I got to the Hand of the King, which I think is the last boss, or at least penultimate boss. And I was doing really well, and I lost it. But I've been doing some really, really good runs, and I'm having a great time. Great time.
Yeah, I loved Dead Cells when I played it. I'm not going to tell you the story again because I've said it a million times about how I got further than ever when I was on an aeroplane about to take off because I was so nervous and concentrated that I ended up getting way further than I'd ever got in there, which was after the clock tower. I think it was the maybe 1 or 2 levels after that I got really, really far. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Great game.
And as Onmi said, they've added loads of other crossovers, and that's the free stuff that I mentioned. So now I'm playing it like 5 years later. I'm discovering so much in the game. So you'll suddenly come across an area that's like Hollow Knight themed, and you get the nail from Hollow Knight, or I've got a crowbar, which I'm pretty sure is Half-Life, which is incredibly powerful. And you can always give me more to talk about on me.
So podcast.
There are loads of references, and that's great because it means that every time you do a run, you know, in Hades, you die, you go back to the beginning, but then it gives you more story because you meet the gods, and that's what I think a lot of people like about roguelites now, is when you are given those extra bits of story and other things. So even when you fail, you still feel like you're learning something, and that's what I like about Dead Cells, is that you still unlock weapons, or you get cells that you can spend on things. But also, there are all these things over the last 5 years, all these crossovers and reference points that I've totally missed until now. And so suddenly I'm discovering all these new things every time I play it, and it's great. I thoroughly recommend Dead Cells.
I can't remember. It's been a while. Is Dead Cells procedurally generated?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
So each time you play it, I mean, that is a big part of the roguelite genre. Each time you do the levels, there's like a certain sequence that you do. It branches, but there's a certain sequence of levels. But the actual design of those levels is different.
Yeah, because I remember
that you uncover as you go.
I really like it because I remember I think it was like the second level or something. You can choose to go down to the sewers or go across the walkway, or like
the ramparts.
The ramparts. That's it. I didn't know. I really like that game. That was great. That was my first foray into Raymanvanias, and I really enjoyed it.
That's not a thing. It's definitely not a thing.
Raymanvania. I am trademarking that.
No. What have you been playing this week, Ben?
Destiny.
obviously.
Honestly, I've not been playing anything new. I'm sorry. I've been busy with work and I was reading.
How dare you have a job that you like?
I really like my job. It's weird. But yes, no, I've been playing Marvel Snap. I played a bit of Marvel Snap. We've got a new season.
Okay.
I've added a new. So one of the things in Marvel Snap it wanted me to do was to get was to discard 15 cards, and like I never used any cards that discarded other cards. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make a deck, and every single card in this deck is gonna be about discarding. So it'd be like discard your hand, discard your lowest card, discard your highest card. Could be like adds an extra point for every card you've discarded this game, and like discard a card from your opponents and then your card. So I just filled up a deck with that, and I thought I'll just play a game with all of these and get rid of that challenge. I won like 10 games in a row. I somehow made an incredible hand.
Is it also because at the start of the new season your level drops?
No, because I was doing that at the end of last season.
Are you defeating bots, Ben?
No, I was doing it at the end of last season. I was doing it at the end of last season. But yeah, discard, destroy. It was a discard one rather than destroy I was using. But no, I playing with that was a lot of fun. And like that's the great thing about Marvel Snap. You can just make and create these decks that might be all discard. I've also got another one that's all about moving, and nearly every card in that is about people. About a card. If you move this card, then it leaves a copy of of that card in the original place, or the next, if this card moves, it gains 5 extra points. So I had a whole deck of those and actually did quite well. I feel like you could, as long as there's some kind of coherence with them, because I've got, with Marvel Snap, I've got my kind of main deck, which is a little bit of a mix of my favorite cards. And some of them will work together with each other, but like as a whole, there's not a lot of cohesion, but I just enjoy using those cards and I do quite well. But then I've got some other decks that really focus on like ongoing effects and on reveal effects, and then the moving ones. Then we've got the discard ones, and just playing with those, like it's a totally different game when you play it like that.
You can customize it a lot, which is cool. I mean, I've literally just got my favorite cards.
Yeah.
Which generally is just like how many points can I build up?
And one of my favorites is
I'm not as strategic as you are.
I think I've mentioned it before, but sometimes they'll have like one location. So for those of you who haven't played Marvel Snap, just go and play it because I'm not going to explain it. No, should go and play it because it's brilliant. But
it's great and it's also free.
Yeah, there are 3 locations. I mean, I pay for the season pass, but I could quite easily not. But there are 3 locations, and all the 3 locations have something special, and you've got to win 2 out of the 3, or at least if it's a draw, get the most points overall. But yeah, one of them, sometimes they'll have every now and again they'll have one that's kind of on rotation at that time, and it's really common for that to appear as one of the 3 locations. And I remember for a while, it must have been 24 or 48 hours, they had one that was only 1 card can be used at this location. So I was like, and that's where, people save their big card for, so that they can, they save their 6 power card later on in the game. However, I got the Greedy Goblin, or Hobgoblin? No, Greedy Goblin, I think it is.
Green
Goblin, is it green? Okay, I got the Green Goblin one.
Have you not seen Spider-Man?
Yeah, I didn't realise he was in it.
It's Willem Dafoe.
Okay, whatever, whoever that is. So yeah, Green Goblin is only a 3 power card, but it's minus 3 points, and it goes to the other the opponent's. It goes to the opponent's side. So whenever that was in my hand, and that location was, only 1 card can be played here, I'd place it in there. It would go to the other side, and the person that I was against, 9 out of 10 would retreat. Like, they would just completely retreat from the game and forfeit. Or, they escaped.
So you're a troll, basically.
I won so many games from retreats, or from them escaping, because I placed that. And, like, once it's there, there's nothing that they can do. They can't put another card down there. They can't destroy my card. It was brilliant.
As Cheesy says, your Marvel education baffles me. I mean, I don't even like Marvel, and I don't know a lot of the details, but I at least know like the basics of who the Green Goblin is.
I generally thought
Spider-Man.
it was called Greedy Goblin. It must have been the wording on it. My eyesight's failing me a little bit.
Wow.
Well, is Hobgoblin similar to Green Goblin?
I do not know that much, but I know that one of them is minus 3 points and one of them is minus 8 points.
As Omni says, you were playing a superhero game where you didn't know the characters, you got rid of all your cards, and somehow won. Still won. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is an achievement.
What I will say with Marvel Snap is that it is a great card game in its own right, and you don't necessarily have to know, like Marvel. Like that. That's
I don't know
meaningless.
Marvel.
All you need to know is like, numbers and powers.
There's somebody called the Silver Surfer, and I thought that was like describing old people that were on the internet. Have you? I thought that was like a group of the Silver Surfers. They're like old people. No offense to old people. I'm old, not silver, but we'll be there one day.
Wow.
But that's genuinely true, isn't it? They call it Silver Surfers.
Do they?
Yeah. Anyway, I still haven't got the Batman card. I'm very upset.
Right. On that note.
No, apart from that, just Destiny. I have pretty much reached the hard cap.
We love a hard cap.
But not the super hard cap. So they have like a soft cap.
Is that like the Green Goblin and the Hobgoblin?
Exactly. Yeah, you have I've reached the greedy goblin, and then the hob. Yeah, you know what I mean. So no, when you can do any activity and things will drop to a certain level, and then if you do these specific activities, then they'll drop to a higher level, and then once you're up there, there are only like a small handful of very top level things that you can do to get anything higher than that. I think the maximum level you can be without the extra power is 1,810, and now I'm 1,800.
This is too much numbers.
Oh god, yeah. I helped you with maths earlier today.
You did. I had to work out an exchange rate, and I was just like, Ben.
And I was like
Do the maths.
0.86, and you were like, oh, it is.
That is correct. Thank you for that.
That's exactly, yeah.
Can you do all my expenses?
I will. No.
Okay.
Can't even do my own. Yeah. Hobgoblin is a beer, apparently.
It is. I don't know where it's made.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a Belgian beer or not, but it's definitely, it comes in like a big thick bottle.
Mm. Speaking of Belgium, where
are you going with that?
There's an event at Great Ormond Street where you can cycle from London to Amsterdam, and you go through Belgium. I know
In
Amsterdam.
reality, or is this like an electric bike?
No,
thing?
real one. We're all gonna do something, but it's not gonna be that one. I think it's just gonna be like a walk, a sponsored walk.
Can't we just like get sponsored to play video games and sit on our ass?
So
why is everything active?
One thing is that not next week, but potentially the week after, I'm going to be starting regular streams on my work Twitch channel, Gosh Charity, which is going to be Animal Crossing predominantly.
Because of course it is.
Yeah, like 2.5 hours. I think I'm going to do 2.5 hours twice a week. Probably during the day when I'm working. It's great. I'm gonna get paid for this. It's like the dream. But yeah, so if anybody wants to follow, we are Gosh Charity on there. I'm gonna be starting a new island, and it's gonna be pretty awesome. But one of the things is like, it's my task to get the Twitch channel up and running and really awesome. So these events that we're doing is going to be great to be able to.
How that works.
It does work. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Yeah, it's going to be really good fun getting like streaming events and stuff that we do. I can't do it anytime soon because I think we need to put like a clause in contracts to say that they're okay with appearing on our Twitch channel if people go to these events. So it'll be after September, I think, unless it's an event that won't show a lot of people. So there's some exciting things, but something like a cycle. They do a cycle from London to Brighton, like a cycling event. I don't know how far that is, but that would be kind of a really cool thing to stream.
It's definitely too far.
No, it's nothing. Have you never cycled before?
Yes.
Oh, you don't. You've got.
I know how to ride a bike.
You got skinny legs. You won't be able to last.
I was taught by my granddad.
You won't be able to get out of Croydon with them legs.
Well, to be fair, the last time I did cycle on a road, and then was like, I want a Boris bike, and I'm not doing that again.
A couple of pipe cleaners.
Wow.
Yeah. Gosh Charity last streamed 3 years ago. They last streamed 3 years ago, and 3 years ago they streamed Animal Crossing.
Well, would you believe it?
Yeah. Well, I'll try and get them affiliate, and who knows, maybe partner one day.
Well, please do all go follow.
Yes. Cycling on UK roads would be terrifying. Yeah, they've
Yeah,
got cycle lanes now.
Like country roads cycling
Take me
is
home.
totally fine. I'm
to
down for
the
that. But
place I belong, West Virginia.
please find the key.
If I had a key here, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Virginia.
No, country roads is fine.
Virginia is pronounced Virginia.
It's not.
It is.
But no, like cycling through like London streets would not recommend. Would absolutely not recommend.
Yeah.
Shall we see what people have been playing in Discord?
No, I'm not interested.
Well, we're gonna look anyway.
Go on, let's see. Thank you for those of you who did answer the. Oh, there are a few. Great.
Yeah,
Also,
sorry.
thanks so
Ben
much.
was really late on this.
Well, sorry, but I'm going to blame Gemma.
Gemma's busy with cats.
That's true.
Not a euphemism,
No.
but also maybe. So there we go. Riley is still on the Zelda randomizers. Been playing a lot of Link to the Past that way. Sparked my joy for the game again.
No.
Every time Riley talks about these, I'm like, I should really try that.
Yeah.
I don't understand how. Well, I mean, I guess you have to get a mod or an emulator somehow, but I feel like I should try that at some point.
Speaking of mods, are you going to be playing? Oh, in fact, I really want to play Resident Evil 4 with the shirtless Leon.
Because of
mod.
course you do. And of course, the first mod that anyone makes is shirtless Leon.
I mean, it's great. Like there are so many other mods that are horrific and awful. Like you see, for example, people modding Spider-Man to get rid of the LGBT flags and stuff like that. And like Resident Evil, it's like, no, make it gayer. We want it gayer. We want thirst.
Sidious has started, I'm guessing.
Oh, there's a thong mod. And not the Australian thongs, but like, you know, that thong, the thong.
Leon in a thong?
Yeah.
Why was I not made aware of this already?
I will Google it.
Can you put that in with shirtless as well, or is he literally already shirtless because it's just a thong?
I mean, I'd expect that.
Leon's dong in a thong.
Oh.
I'd like to see it. Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Oh,
no, we're not showing
No, I'm
this.
not showing it. I just want to look closely. I'd like to zoom. I mean, Leon's packing.
Yeah, I mean that looks like a little sack.
That's not just a thong. That is.
We'd have to see it in action.
I'd like to see his Ganados.
Don't know what that means.
It's the name of the enemies in the game. You haven't played it, have you?
Yeah, I played half of it.
Oh, you don't remember it then.
I got annoyed when I had to carry around that annoying person.
Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's irritating.
Yeah.
I think they've changed her a bit in the remake.
Good.
She doesn't have a health bar
streamed
anymore.
it.
You streamed what?
Resident Evil 4. God, you didn't even watch me.
When was that?
That is a good point, actually. I'm going to quickly look. Resident Evil 4, because I played it on PC. But I streamed...
Is it the original one?
Yeah. I streamed it. Last played July the 25th, 2019.
I didn't know you then, so I didn't watch it.
That's true. That was during COVID.
Wow.
Yeah. Must have been on a horror bend.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So Sidious, I'm guessing, has finished Elden Ring. That's my question for you, Sidious. But Sidious has started playing Chained Echoes. Great choice. It's a really interesting JRPG style game, basically created by one person minus the Am I too loud?
You're very loud.
I'm just projecting.
Yeah, always.
Speaking clearly.
That's right. Enunciate.
I want people to, understand us. A really interesting JRPG style game, basically created by one person minus the music, that has some very unique mechanics and gameplay. I had seen several streamers playing it and finally decided to start playing it myself. I know Ed would be pleased to know that there are a lot of good accessibility options to adapt the game to all players.
Sidious does not listen to us.
No, I've already played it, Sidious. However, I did give up on the final boss because it was too hard.
He literally stopped playing on the final boss.
It's really annoying.
But if they're adding things to it, like they've updated with Japanese text, then do you think they might even update with like an easier mode?
Well, I say that, or you say that.
I don't think Sidious, you weren't around when we were talking about it. Don't worry.
Well, it was just before Christmas, so I don't remember.
Yes, it was.
But I was playing it over Christmas. I absolutely love that game. It's really
done a quick
really
look.
well done.
Check out our quick look.
There is a quick look of some of it. I don't actually remember that many accessibility options, so maybe there is one to make it easier. In which case, maybe I should go back and actually finish it.
Yeah, just
If I can
please.
just
It
bump the
bugs me.
difficulty
It
down.
generally bugs me the fact you haven't finished it.
It bugs me as well.
Yeah, I can't not finish a game.
Yeah, it's really good though. Like I won't say where it gets hard or what's annoying because I don't want to spoil anything. But it definitely gets tricky in the sort of later stages.
Yeah.
So just something to be aware of.
Hmm.
Mr. Wibble is playing the Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. I suck at using a bow. Well, that's most of the game.
No, I hate using a bow as well. But he says, well, I'll let you finish that. He says, but I'm enjoying the melee bashing.
But I'm enjoying the melee bashing. The rest you already know. We don't know, Mr. Wibble. Tell us.
The thing's like the melee bashing feels great in that game, even though you do zap across, like 5 meters when you try and attack something. But like the bow, genuinely don't enjoy using a bow in Horizon Zero Dawn because everything is so quick and so fast, but it takes like a good 3 seconds to extend your bow, and it just frustrates me because you're there just about to extend it, and then something just smacks you on the side of the head.
So in Horizon Zero Dawn, I thought it was fine. In Forbidden West, I hate that. And I don't know if I don't know if they've changed it so like the dinosaur animations are just at an annoying time, or I don't know what they've done, but I found that really irritating in Forbidden West, but not so much in Zero Dawn.
No, both of them. Not a massive fan.
Fine. And Westman is playing Lightfall, Destiny 2. Shocker, right?
Great choice.
It's a 9 out of 10. Don't listen to those game journalists.
You never listen to a games journalist.
I mean, firstly, never listen to us. We are a bunch of twats. But also, I haven't played Destiny, so I haven't reviewed it. So don't listen to me either.
Yeah.
I've also played some Farthest Frontier, which you've played as well.
I have, yeah.
Which is a medieval city builder with just the perfect amount of micromanagement and beautiful graphics. It's in early access, but still got a lot of stuff in it. Can't wait to see where it will go.
Exactly. A lot of times when I'm playing a game that's early access that I really enjoy, I play it for a little bit, or I play it for like one session and go, that's great. I can't wait to go back to it when it's fully out. I did the same pretty much with Coral Island, did the same with Furthest Frontier, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing where that goes, because that is a really good game. If you like a city builder, I'm looking at you, Cheesy, if you're in the chat. Anybody, I'm sure you've already played it, but like a city building management game, Farthest Frontier is really good fun.
I'm not sure how I feel about early access.
I like it in theory.
Yeah. I think for me one of the big success stories of early access is Hades. But I didn't play it in early access. I only played it once it was fully released on the Switch. And I think by that point the developers have spent so long tweaking it and changing it, and they're given the space to do that in early access, that when the final release comes out, there's so much content and it's just so slick and so well constructed that playing Hades was like, okay, this is so well thought out. But I wouldn't like to have been there at the start when it's just not as good. I just would find that really irritating.
When it comes to early access, I think it depends on the game, on like the type of game. For example, like Coral Island, I didn't particularly like that it's early access because you can play that game for, I imagine you can play that game for years and years into it, but like lots of the features are missing. So then when the full game comes out, you have to go and pretty much like wipe your save and start again, and then just enjoy everything, even though you've already enjoyed half of it. I throw something in my throat. I don't mind things, but like, for example, Pit People, which, did you ever play Pit People?
No.
That was a fun game. That was an early access, but you played it and there were like maybe 2 chapters and then it stopped. And it was like, great, thank you, that was the early access. And that is what I much prefer. I much prefer to have kind of like a polished, short experience in early access to kind of give you a taster, like a demo, and then be like, okay, yes, we're going to gradually roll things out later. I don't want the ability to kind of like finish the game with it very bare bones and then just keep adding things to it.
Yeah, that I think is irritating. I think part of the reason it worked for Hades is because it's a roguelite. So
you're repeating it all anyway.
Because you're constantly going back anyway. So once they've got that sort of loop sorted, then they can just keep adding to bits in the middle of it, which you sort of won't notice as much because you are just doing more and more loops. And you
like
just
Dead
keep seeing
Cells,
more
for
stuff.
example.
And Dead Cells, I was going to mention that as well. Like,
It wasn't early access though.
No, it wasn't. But I think it almost feels like it was, comparing it 5 years ago to now, because they've added so much in there that it's almost like that was an early build of it, and now they've just kept adding and adding to it. So in that respect, I think it works for that style of game, but it would annoy, like Coraline would also annoy me, of like
Coraline.
Coral Island
Oh,
would annoy me as well if there's just not enough to do, or if
yeah.
it's a story and it's sort of you do, yes, polished first 2 chapters polished, but then I'm like, but where's the rest of the game? I want to finish it.
Oh,
And
I don't
want to
mind
wait.
that.
That
Yeah.
to me, that's just like that's an episodic release. That's not early access.
Yeah. I suppose, or, well, not even episodic. Like, for example, if we were playing, let's say, I mean, Farthest Frontier is a really good one because you play it, but you can only get to certain levels, and then you'll reach a point where you're like, well, I can keep going if I want to, but I can't grow my houses to like tier 3 or level 3, or I can't upgrade the market to a certain thing. So you kind of just get to a natural end and you stop it.
That's probably a good thing because those games get very addictive.
They do,
and
but
then
also
you just keep playing endlessly.
yeah, but also Farthest Frontier, those kind of management games you play for, I don't know if you're like me, but you play for a few hours and then generally just kind of stop and then restart, and you've learnt certain ways. I mean, Farthest Frontier, I restarted like 4 times. But you play it and then you learn something about it and go, oh, great, I'm going to do another, and I know exactly where I'm going to put my market. I know where I'm going to put the roads. And so then you play it and see how that goes, and then you get a little bit further, and then you learn some other things, and then you restart it. That's, yeah, I mean, it's not, kind of is like a roguelike in a way, because you're improving every time you're doing it, based on
True.
what your knowledge you've got. But it's, early access definitely doesn't work for every game, and I think quite a few publishers like to put things out in early access without it deciding like whether that actually would work.
Yeah, it's just, oh, we can't wait and we need some more money, so let's get people to buy a game.
How's Star Citizen? Is that in the news?
Not today, but yeah, speaking of early access, I mean they've earned like a billion in Kickstarter or something, and it's been going for 10 years, and they still can't release a patch that doesn't fuck up all the logins.
I've got Star Citizen.
Why would you do that?
Because it was a space game, and it was the first game I ever watched on Twitch. The first game, it was Manny GPT, who is not on here anymore, but he was playing Star Citizen, and I was watching it because I was like, I'm intrigued. I heard it was like, a kind of a legend. This thing, Star Citizen, it's going to be the world's best video game ever, and there is a playable build of a small section of it right now. And so I'd watch it and go, wow, this looks incredible. And there were like 3 planets that you could visit, and then one of them was a city planet that you could only go to like 0.1%, if that, of the planet, and it looked really cool, and you could walk around the city, but a very small area. And no, that was good fun.
I've got no interest in Star Citizen.
I love that idea of being able to just go anywhere and do it. But then, like, yeah, No Man's Sky came out and was like, hey, we can do it with kind of cartoony graphics, and we've added so much stuff to it that you're gonna really enjoy it. So yeah.
And as Hilly says, like, all games feel like they're early access these days. Like, that really irritates me. I miss the days of cartridge games where you had a complete game and it was what it was. And you put it in your console and play it, as opposed to this, we'll do a half-assed job and then we'll release a day one patch that's twice the size of the actual game that just gets rid of some bugs. It just annoys me. Just do your job beforehand.
Yeah, some games
I'd rather it was delayed and was a final product.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of there's quite a lot of games. I think it was like Hogwarts came out and that had like loads and loads of patches. Like, so it's not even like the non AAA games that are doing this. Like even
it's
the
like
biggest, every game, yeah.
Anyway, should we see what's in the news?
Yeah, by the way, I just loaded up Steam because I was looking at it, and it popped up with like, these are all so here we've got scheduled downloads for updates for No Man's Sky, Apex, New World, and Coral Island. Oh yes, there's a Coral Island.
Well, they're all like online games, so that's okay. It's more like, here's a story game, and then we actually just didn't bother optimizing it. Can we start at the far right and we'll go back to that one?
We will not be starting at the far right, but yes.
Not politically, just along the tabs.
Yes.
What
do you think a small boat said? Just read it.
What?
It was a joke. Here we go.
Small boats?
Yes. You've not been reading the news, have you? Far right,
you're making that joke?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Well, no, I have read. I know what's going on. I just didn't make that link to link. Speaking of links, Zelda is going to be $70. Tears of the Kingdom. How much? $70 or 70 quid over here, and basically, Nintendo is saying that the game is worth it.
Doubt it.
We'll see. But it's not necessarily going to be their new price point. So nowadays, a lot of Xbox games and PlayStation games, and especially Square Enix games, are all up to $70 as like the sort of new standard. So I think Nintendo have generally been cheaper, but that's because the Switch is less powerful. So maybe, I don't know, they feel like they can get away with a slightly cheaper price point, but not with Zelda. It's going to be $70. But they're saying that it's worth it. But for this game specifically, it doesn't mean that all games now are going to be $70. But I suspect they probably will be.
The big AAA ones.
Yes. Like when Metroid Prime 4 comes out and when the next Switch comes out with a new Mario game and a new Mario Kart, they're going to be 70 quid. I would not be surprised.
Oh, well.
So that's annoying.
This is a nice segue, but I used to always spell it like that, but then I learned that was the little kind of two-wheeled standy thing, isn't it?
A segue.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was that. So Behaviour, who make Dead by Daylight, they have a new game coming out called Meet Your Maker.
Have you played it?
No.
Haven't you?
No, I haven't played it. I saw a preview of it. I haven't played it.
Oh, I thought you played it.
No. Which is this kind of build and raid game. You create these sort of fortresses, basically, and then you can go to other people's online and raid each other's and collect resources and all this kind of stuff, which could be quite interesting for the right kind of people. And that is getting a day one release on PlayStation Plus next month.
Oh.
So if you're interested in trying it out, it will be on PlayStation Plus.
And it's great because it's an online game, so it works well for that.
Yeah, and I think it honestly hasn't had a lot of coverage so far, and I don't think people are that interested in it. So
were you interested?
No. So it's good that it is coming to PlayStation Plus because I think that will help to give it an audience because it's an online game, so that will just immediately give it an audience. So if you're interested in trying it, then yeah, that's coming to PS Plus. Hyper Light Drifter. Speaking of roguelites that we have been all day, so this is the sequel to Hyper Light Drifter.
Yeah,
got the name wrong there. Hyper Light Drifter.
It's there in big letters.
I know. Hyper Light Drifter came out in 2016 and is one of my favorite indie games. It is a kind of top-down Zelda-y adventure, but with horror, sci-fi elements to it. It's an absolutely incredible game. And Heart Machine, the name of the developer, is releasing a follow-up called Hyper Light Breaker, but it looks very, very different, and I don't think I like it.
Wow.
It's this fully 3D action game with loads of battling in it.
Looks like Sonic. Sonic Frontiers.
I wouldn't go that far. Well, what they have made in between is Solar Ash, which I did quite like. And this has a very similar aesthetic to Solar Ash, but as like a combat shooting game, but it's also a roguelite with like acrobatics and labyrinths and I don't know, it just seems to me like they've lost a bit of the atmosphere of the first game, which is what I really liked. But anyway, they've just released a new gameplay trailer, so if you want to know what it looks like, there is that. I don't think we've got a release date for it yet, though. And the one thing I do really like is the music, which is by Disaster Piece, who's like an electronic composer, and it's got the same sort of music style, which I love. So the music's great. I'm just not convinced by the gameplay. Early access fall 2023.
There you go.
Speaking of early access.
Oh god. Yeah, what would that? Yeah, I suppose could work.
So there has been a new game out this week called Bleak Faith Forsaken, which is a Souls-like game from a developer called Archangel Studios, and basically the game went viral at the weekend for all the wrong reasons. And it's because they have some animations in the game that people recognized as being pretty much identical to Elden Ring. And so people were basically accusing them of stealing from software's animations. But what has since come to light is that Archangel said, actually, we got these animations from the Epic Marketplace, which basically is a big library of assets that you can use, be it animations, art, whatever else.
There's a sale on it right now.
There you
It popped
go.
up weirdly.
And they said they used about 10% or 10% of its assets were from the Epic Marketplace. The problem is that Epic don't really regulate that. And so what a lot of people online, this isn't known, but I think what a lot of people online think has happened is there's someone who has basically created tools to mod Elden Ring, and someone thinks that, or people assume that that tool has been used to take out the animations of Elden Ring and then put them on the Epic Marketplace and sell them. And Epic don't really regulate that. And so now other developers are going, oh, I like that animation, I'll use it. And it turns out it's actually from Elden Ring, and it's basically been stolen. So not good.
My favorite comment was somebody saying, "Did Epic just make a case for Apple's walled garden approach after years of rallying against it?"
Quite possibly. So Archangel overnight released a statement. Basically saying that actually no, sorry, go down again.
It was that one.
Yeah, you are correct. So yeah, they are a 3-person studio. So they used a lot of stuff from Epic Marketplace for about 10% of the game. And they basically used them with the understanding that it was all vetted by Epic. And they got a response from Epic directly when they questioned them. And Epic said that each marketplace seller represents some warrants to Epic that they have appropriate rights. As with any store that hosts third-party content, however, Epic is not in a position to independently verify such rights, and Epic makes no such guarantee to purchasers of the content. So Archangel said that this was not satisfactory, and so they have agreed to remove all of the assets that they use, and they're going to redo them all. And they are now thanking people for saying, thanks for pointing this out, and this is really bad for creators. So whether they knew or not that it was from Elden Ring, hey, they haven't said. But, you know, we can take them on good faith that they have done this, and they're now kind of shifting the buck onto Epic, and it's making Epic look pretty shit for not really regulating what's on their marketplace.
Yeah.
Especially if it's stolen from other games, especially when that game is the biggest game from last year.
I feel like their response was not Epic's, but the Archangel Studios seem fair.
It does seem fair. And Epic's was not very good.
No. Boo, Epic.
Boo to Epic. Some DLC is coming to Citizen Sleeper, which I know you loved.
I didn't know this.
And I also loved. So
Game of the Year last year.
Your personal game of the year.
My personal 2020. I think it would have been our both, you know, if we'd worked together. But we both.
Well, we both played over Christmas, and it was after we'd done, or in January, and it was after we'd done Game of the Year.
I want to listen to the soundtrack again. I might listen to it while I'm editing the podcast.
It's really good for working.
Yeah.
It's a really good working soundtrack, Citizen Sleeper. And it's a fucking brilliant game.
Eyes up, Sleeper.
So they basically have released they've so far released 2 DLC extra stories, and they have a third and final one coming, which is coming on the 30th of March. Actually, go back up. I might have got the dates wrong.
30th of March.
Keep going. Oh, it is 30th of March.
Yeah.
I was right. That's good. So the final piece of DLC, so the last bit of the story, and the day after that, on the 31st of March, it's being released on PlayStation with all the DLC. So currently it's available on PC and Xbox on Game Pass and on Switch. And this DLC, by the way, is free to everyone. So if you've played it, you can get the extra story for free. But they're now releasing the full thing on PlayStation as well. So if you haven't played Citizen Sleeper, you have no excuse not to at this point.
I love that you, even though you didn't write the review, but you wrote this news article, you're like, if you're yet to play it, it's a phenomenal sci-fi one. So you get it in there that it's phenomenal.
Well, I did. And then if you scroll down, the next paragraph was then me quoting our review, which is the official Eurogamer review. And then there's another paragraph about me.
Oh, I played the game at the end of last year and was so enamoured. I finished it in one sitting.
I did.
Citizen Sleeper also featured on our top games of 2022 list.
I'm just trying to push it because it's a great game and people should play it.
Yeah, if people genuinely, please play it. It's on Game Pass. It'll be on PlayStation soon if you can't play it on Game Pass. Please play it and let us know what you think, because I went to bed at like 5:30 in the morning, Genuinely, you know
Well,
that.
no, I stayed up until 2 a.m. Played it. As I said, I was enamored and played it in one
And
sitting.
then I think I
and then
moaned
I
that
said
you got
to you,
yeah.
you should play this game. It's great. And the next day, you did the exact same thing and played it in one sitting.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good though. Just
So, yeah.
the music. If you can stick the pause menu on and just listen to that for ages, it is. Yeah, yeah. Because you came to bed at like 2 a.m. and I was like, oh God, you woke me up. Or no, I don't think you woke me up. I was like, well, I kind of just because the music was going on in the next room, and then yeah, completely
Did the same thing.
did the same thing. I was like, I know. And then I actually had to do the wash the dishes at 5 a.m. because I was like, you're gonna get really angry if
that's
you
on
wake
you.
up.
You should have done that sooner.
I should have done it, but it's just, that game is
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I actually didn't play any of the DLC as well. I
Me
just
neither.
did the sort of base game story. So I'm really excited to go back actually and play the other DLC stories.
I want to see how it's weird because yeah, I want to know if you can complete all of those stories before any kind of ending.
Well, I think when you end it, you can still go back and continue.
Can you?
I think.
Yeah.
Just load an earlier save.
Yeah, I might do that.
So there you go.
That's great. Go and play it.
Yes. So next up,
From great games to meow games.
Horizon Forbidden West. There's a new PlayStation blog about the Burning Shores DLC, and the blog is essentially just a bit of a like, oh, the PS5 is amazing and we love using it. But I said what's interesting about it is that the base game came out on PS4 and PS5, but the DLC is only available on PS5. So I think people have become quite interested in as to, well, why? What is it about this DLC? And essentially in this blog post, it's the usual stuff of like using haptic feedback and all that kind of stuff. But also, essentially, it's going to have much more detailed graphics. It's based in LA, I think.
San Francisco.
Is it?
Well, Golden Gate Bridge. Isn't the Golden Gate Bridge in this, or is that another one?
Well,
No, I think that's in the original game.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Or in the base game, at least. I think this is based in LA. And so
the traffic.
Yeah, the cityscape ruins of LA are basically
Hollywood,
and Hollywood and stuff. So it's a big detailed city. So there's so much in it that they need the power of the PS5 to do that. They've also hinted that there is a specific boss fight that just was not possible on PS4. What that means, or if they're just lazy and didn't do that, I don't know. But it's interesting that this DLC is PS5 only.
They're not lazy. They're probably overworked and underpaid. Yeah, we will see. I was got no interest. I wish I loved it.
Yeah, I do kind of want to just finish the main story just to say I've done it and then see if this DLC is any good. But
do you know what I wish it had?
What?
You're going to disagree with me.
What?
Guns. I think I would enjoy the combat a lot more if there were guns in it that I could just pull the trigger immediately and aim, and I could like freeze it a little bit like she does. I just think that game, even though it wouldn't fit in well, I know, I just wish that the ranged combat was a gun and not like 20 different types of arrow and bow.
100% strongly disagree.
No. And you? Got terrible taste.
No, you do. You just want to go and play Destiny.
Yeah, it needs to be first person, there needs to be aliens, and we need to go to the fucking moon.
With a gun.
Horizon Forbidden West in the Horizon Forbidden Moon.
No.
Lunar West.
Terrible game.
Yeah.
And then the last news story, which was earlier today, is the next round of PlayStation Plus games that are coming in March.
Were you shitting when this was announced?
No.
I thought you were.
How very dare you?
Genuinely was.
One of the big things coming, so that they're all coming, all these games are coming on the 21st of March for extra and premium members on PS Plus. And one of the big things is a brand new game, which is Chia, which you're going to be playing on stream next week.
Well, I'm not meant to tell. It's embargoed.
Oh.
No, it's not. I did mention it. Yeah, I'm going to be...
I didn't say that.
No, so Chia is coming out on Tuesday, and it's going to be on PlayStation Plus, which I think has already been announced. Well, it has definitely already been announced. But I get to play it a day early on Monday. So look out for my stream then, and I will be starting immediately at 5 o'clock. And it will go straight into it. No marbles, might do a little bit of just chatting, but going straight into Chia with a TCHIA, and I've just had such great vibes from this game. You know more about it than me, actually. So, you know
it's
what
set.
it's about.
It's set.
Polynesia.
Yeah, I think it's a Polynesian island. I think, but please don't quote me on that because I
Yeah.
might be wrong. And it looks to me like it's kind of Breath of the Wild meets Mario Odyssey. So it's this kind of adventure, and you can float around in the wind and solve puzzles and explore how you want to. But you also have the ability to.
It's inspired by New Caledonia. New
Okay.
Caledonia Thistle. They're a Scottish Premier League team.
Very different.
Yeah.
But you can basically control objects, a bit like how Mario does in Odyssey with his hat, and takes control of things. So yeah, and it's it looks like a really beautiful, brightly coloured adventure, and really lovely and really authentic to New Caledonia from what I've seen. That does, however, mean it has ukuleles in it.
So many ukuleles.
And I might have to skip the ukuleles.
Yeah, it's inspired by New Caledonia. Caledonia. But yeah, I'm very, 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 very much looking forward to playing it. And New Caledonia is to the east of Australia, as it shows there, which is near Fiji, New Zealand, Australia. It's kind of like in the middle of all of that. Though set in a fantastical locale at its heart, Chia is a love letter to New Caledonia.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that is coming to PS Plus on Tuesday.
Yes.
So you're going to be playing it on stream.
Yeah, and I can't wait. I've just seen somebody playing as the dog, and I want to play it immediately.
There you go. So that's coming, which is cool. What's also coming to PS Plus next week is Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection.
If you haven't played that game
Uncharted
yet,
4 and The Lost Legacy.
Wasn't that on the PS5 PlayStation Plus classic thing, and then that got removed?
Yes.
And
now it's on PS Plus.
Okay, so it's what was it? What was that name of that thing? The Essentials or something? No, because the Essentials is a tier.
The something collection.
Yeah.
So that's well worth playing. The Lost Legacy especially is brilliant. So that's worth a go. Ghostwire Tokyo is also going to be joining next Tuesday. But what is interesting with that is that earlier on today, they also announced that Ghostwire Tokyo is coming to Xbox
and
in April.
There's new stuff being added, isn't there?
There is. There's some new modes and other bits and pieces. Which is interesting because Ghostwire Tokyo was published by Bethesda, and Bethesda is now owned by Microsoft. So basically, it's been a PlayStation exclusive because that's what the deal was before, and we've all been waiting for it to come to Xbox at some point. And now it's coming to both Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. So that's funny.
It's a great game, but don't pay full price for it, and now you don't have to.
No, it's worth giving a go to for free on a subscription. On a subscription. I really like the setting of it, at least. And then there's also Life is Strange True Colors, Life is Strange 2, if you like those sort of games.
I love you. Did you write this?
Yes.
Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2 will please fans of soppy tea narratives. Did somebody make a comment about that?
I don't know.
I get that those games are not for everyone, but it does seem to be doing them a disservice being described like that. Oh, wow, you're being criticised in the comments.
Well, deal with it. I mean, they are teen narratives.
Soppy tea narratives?
They're narratives about teens.
And soppy.
And yes, sorry about it. Also, Immortals Phoenix Rising, which has been on Game Pass for a while. That's now coming to PS Plus. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction, which is their most recent game about aliens, so maybe not the best.
No, zombies.
There's also...
Zombies.
You go to an alien containment zone.
Isn't it zombies, though, Extraction?
The blurb said an alien containment zone.
I thought it was zombies.
Well, I think you're wrong.
Because it was meant to be called, Tom, do you know what it was meant to be originally called? Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Outbreak, and then COVID happened, and they had to change it.
Well, maybe it's alien
No,
zombies.
sorry, I think it was, maybe it's the different one. I don't know. I'm sure this was the one that was Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Quarantine. And they weren't, then they called it, Quarantine, and then...
and now they're alien containment zones. It's very different.
Yeah. Everyone's like, this is too close to COVID.
Other games coming, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is the RPG. Street Fighter 5, just ahead of Street Fighter 6. Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, which was a sort of spin-off kind of game of Final Fantasy, which is cool. I'd never played it. Neo: The World Ends With You, which I was not a big fan of, but does have a big cult following. So that'll be cool for people that are into that. Rage 2, and also Haven, which
I played a
I
bit Rage
quite
2.
liked. And also Untitled Goose Game, which is a game that I still haven't played, and I know everybody loved that when it came out. And I mean, it's literally about 2 hours long, but I've been wanting to play it for a while, so I might give that a go.
It was a 2 hour. No, it was like a 4 hour game that should have lasted 2. It went on, and like there were about 5 different areas or something. I remember, and like I was done after 3 areas.
Yeah, it feels like one joke that's just spread out, but fine.
Yeah.
And then lastly, there's Ridge Racer. Go back up.
Sorry, I was just reading all of the
Well,
comments.
don't read the comments.
I like reading the comments.
Ridge Racer
who's
Type 4,
bullying you.
which was PS1 game. Ape Escape 2 from PS1, and then Siphon Filter Dark Mirror, which was PSP. So not a bad bunch of games.
That is a very good. I mean, there'll be something there. Sorry, Hilly, who is a Rainbow Six master or mistress, no master, is Outbreak happened, but quarantine. Yeah, this quarantine got changed because it's like, yeah, let's maybe not call it that.
There you go.
Oh, which one of those games? If you had to play one of those that got added, which one would you play? It'd be Final Fantasy, wouldn't it?
What out
of all the games that get
is Chia. That's what I most want to play.
Yeah, that's true.
But I will. Well, Immortals I already started on Game Pass. I will continue with that at some point.
You should do it. I really like it.
But Final Fantasy I will certainly give a go to, and I might just whip through Goose Game of an afternoon.
Yeah. And yeah, so let's go and see what the comments have been saying about it. I know this is probably a silly question to throw out there for Sony. Could you please remaster Uncharted Golden Abyss? I liked Golden Abyss. It was weird, but I don't know how they would even manage to remaster that. But yeah, people saying a solid month. Got a 12 months extra sub for a good discount in January. Been worth it already. People being positive in the comments. Great. Everyone loves Ridge Racer. Is this one of the best Ridge Racers? Was this the Ridge Racer that we played and I beat you at in the Science Museum?
Make the assumption that you beat me at anything? And the game you're thinking about is Project Gotham Racing.
No, but I also beat you at Ridge Racer.
No.
Yeah, and then you beat me at that annoying one. Oh my god, you commented.
I did, because I originally wrote Street Fighter 6 and then realised, no, that's very different.
Yeah. See, that's what...
Did anyone like that comment?
No.
Great.
But no, I think but it's quite low down because nobody liked that comment either, the original. But I've been saying to Ed that like we need to see Ed's human side a bit. He's not just a stuck-up pompous games.
I'm a stuck-up pompous robot games journalist.
Yeah, so we need to bring your human side, and I think responding to the odd comment, even obviously not the abusive ones, but if somebody points something out and you were like, actually no, but
that means I have to sift through comments. I don't like doing that.
No, it's not good for your mental health.
It's not.
I mean, I think if somebody I think people are less likely to be absolute assholes in comments if they're kind of aware that the person might comment back.
Bum bum bum.
Yeah. It's like you see the people sending loads of abuse to somebody, and then the person replies to them and be like, that wasn't very nice, and then they apologize. I see it a fair bit. Yeah. You don't have to write to everyone. Well, some people will be.
Well, leave that open. There's a couple of bits on that.
Right. Oh, my ads incentive program has popped.
Oh, well, good for you.
Oh, do you want us to see what it is?
No.
Oh, I'll be able to. Oh, it's the new one, isn't it? Oh, that's awful colour scheme. Yeah, what was next?
That was it.
Oh.
That's all the headlines. That was quite a few.
That was quite a few. Yeah,
so
right.
There you go. That's this week in gaming.
What gaming things have we got to look forward to? We never really have that I think we should add that as a feature to our podcast. What's coming up? Yes, we do need to do that.
What is coming up? Well, the big thing that's coming up next Friday is Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
So that is you're on March.
Yeah, and I'm mobile version.
Resident Evil 4 is the big game next week.
Yeah. Tomorrow we have Alice Gear Aegis CS Concerto of Simulatrix.
Thank you, Wikipedia. Also, the 17th is Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon.
Do you mean WWE 2K23?
No, I don't care about So there you go. And then next week is Cheer that we already said.
Also, tomorrow is the Dark Pictures Switchback VR, so you can play the horror. It's the on rails horror for the PSVR2.
Is that something we should do on stream? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yes. Well, we might have a horror stream at some point. We'll do a horror charity stream at some point, I think. Yeah, because you want to make me play PT, don't you?
I think you should play PT.
Yeah. And you're like the scariest 30 minutes, but it's the scariest thing you've ever played.
Yeah.
So great. That'll be fun. Well, I'll be putting you in Switchback VR on the PSVR too.
Yes, there's a game called Dredge coming out. It's like a horror fishing game that has had actually really looks really good. People are really interested in that. So that's good. The Last of Us Part 1 is coming out on PC. Yeah. So if you still haven't played that, that's coming out on the 28th.
I mean, we're just talking about the next week. We don't want to spoil what's happening after that.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, there we go. Remnant from the Ashes. And that's old, isn't it? Yeah, 2019. People liked it. Is the Remnant from the Ashes, is that the Souls one with guns?
No idea.
The people actually really liked. I believe so.
No idea.
Yeah. But cool. All right. Well, that is all for next week. Do we have any other things popping up?
No, we've got WASD in a couple of weeks.
That's right.
So that'll be fun.
If anybody's going to, if anybody's going to WASD, I don't think I mentioned it last week, but on the Saturday, I'm going to be playing Jackbox on the main stage at WASD with some of the devs and some media personalities, and it could potentially be on the front page of Twitch. So I'll let you know.
Keep you posted on that.
Yeah. And it's like, I am going to have to kind of filter myself.
Restrain yourself.
Really am, yeah. I don't want to
There's going to be no coom. There's going to be no smegma. There's going to be no...
All the in-jokes I'm going to be...
Can you try and get piss kink in there? Like, is that doable?
It depends. They might speak to me beforehand and be like, we're going to play Jackbox. Now, we can't swear and we can't... I might just say like,
There's got to be a Biggest Bunch reference that you can get in there sneakily somehow.
I'll do my best. I will do my best.
I think piss kink is the way forwards.
Piss kink, yeah. Ask me about my piss kink. Yeah, justice for Barreled. Justice for Midge. Did you see that, so my Animal Crossing character, Barreled, was picked up by Luca, one of our viewers. They posted a message. They posted me a tweet being like, what the hell's this? Because they had let just a random villager move in. And they were very upset that it was barreled. But I went to a conference yesterday and they were showing various things. And one of the guys showed, they were working for Guide Dogs UK. And one of their streams was Animal Crossing. And they had a bunch of dogs as villagers. And then a different who wasn't a dog was the the puppy handler. Aww. Do you know who they treated as the puppy handler? Beardo. The guy with the... Have you seen Beardo?
I don't think
you'd like to see Beardo. Look at that. All I'm going to say is it's not a beard.
Oh, that one.
That's not a beard, I'm sorry.
It's a pubic bush.
Yeah. That is not a beard.
Pube.
Yeah.
Puber.
Not a beard. I like all the other pictures around here, though. Anyway.
Very different.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Well, so that's something else to look forward to. Here's a bit of WASD.
Yeah.
Ben, where can we find you online?
You can find me online at twitch.tv/biggestbennis. I'm biggestbennis1 on Twitter. And I did get an email back. They are, I believe, looking into getting my Instagram back. But also, if you do want to add me on Facebook, I've now made a work-related Twitter, Facebook account. And I'll add anybody on there, and it doesn't have anything too embarrassing on it, which is lucky. I am Ben Ostwick Gosh Charity. Feel free to add me on there.
Nice.
I'm also Biggest Bennis on Be Real. So add me on Be Real, and every now and again, I'll make sure Ed's in a few of them.
No.
Yeah, middle of intercourse. Picture of Ed smile. Beautiful picture. We have to be real. Are you real, Ed? No, you're a fake robotic games journalist. Not with... Wow. Where can we find you if somebody would want to do that?
You can find me at ed_nights on Twitch and on Twitter.
Excellent. All right, and we'll be back next...
What?
Are we Wednesday or Thursday next week?
You make a decision because you keep changing the days that we're doing.
We will be back next Wednesday. The new schedule starts the following week. Yeah. No, next. I can't remember.
Oh my god.
Yes, because my stream's going to be Tuesday and
At
Thursday.
some point next week, we're going to stream again.
Yes. We will. Things like we're very soon going to be moving to Thursdays. Ed's going to be streaming on Monday. I'm going to be streaming my main stream on a Tuesday. So yeah, we'll be back next Thursday.
You just said Wednesday.
No, because I'm in work on Wednesday. We're doing Thursday. Thursday. From next week, podcast on a Thursday. Ooh, got hiccups. Yeah, definitely sure. Because no, I'm in work on Wednesdays. I'm in work on Mondays and Wednesdays from the week after. So yeah.
Right, so apparently Thursday. We'll see you there.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks all for listening. And until next Thursday, keep swapping.